What's up, guys? Welcome to a new video. My name is Joop from the Clips, aka Macaroni with the Cheese. Every day I make YouTube videos about cryptos and stocks, and today I got a brand new video for you guys. We're gonna talk about the SPY gold chart, the INTC rally, INTC versus AMD, earnings next week, and some developments of the US stock market. So let's see what I tweeted. Well, on my social media, I talked about the 4 sectors that outperform the S&P 500. These are technology at number 1. Think of your Googles, Tesla, Microsoft. Second is communication services, Cisco, Fortinet. Number 3 is consumer cycle. And number 4 is healthcare. As you can see on this chart is that healthcare is 4% down. And I do think in the next few years, this could be a good buying opportunity to see what those health stocks would do. But keep in mind, not all the health stocks are good stocks. So in the future, I will make a more explainable video about this strategy. But for now, we're going to talk about a few things. So we recently had a short squeeze of the S&P 500 where we have seen that the Federal Reserve has been seeing that inflation numbers were positive. So when the inflation numbers were not as bad as we think, that made the overall market goes up. So the 10-year yield basically went down. So the 10-year yield basically went down, and as you can see, the 10-year yield, it topped around the 5%, and we went down on the 30th of November last week, and it basically went down. The dollar also went down. As I told you guys, as you can see, my arrow here, my remark, I told you guys that we're going down. At the moment that we're going down, the dollar, the overall market will go up, and that's what basically happened. So we have seen that the SPY went up. As you can see, basically broke the trend line here, and there was basically a rally. Also, we have seen that the fear and greed index basically went to greed, and we were all back to fear and extreme fear in the past few weeks and months, so back in October, but now we earn greed 58 points. So that's the first time we're in greed for this new month in November, so be ahead. So what I always tell you guys is, when the people are greedy, we sell, and when the people are fearless, we buy. When the people are in fear, we buy. So yeah, the S&P 500, this is that 4,500 points, and this is on the weekly chart, and I do think we could see some higher levels, but there also could be a pivot here back to those lower levels, or we could reach some high level. But on the long run, we're going high all the way to 5,000. I think we could see an end-year rally, but there could be some short momentums for retest back those lower levels around 4,300, or even here back on the SMA of 200 SMA around 4,100. So as of gold is around 1,980, and as you can see the chart, what gold has been doing. Gold is basically hovering up here, and as you can see, so I'm basically still bullish on gold. We're still gonna reach those 5,000 levels, but in the meantime, we could see some lower levels and buy those lower levels. The fix is also low. It's also a good indicator. You have seen that the fix is around 13.8 points, and that means that there's less volatility in the market, and then we'll see that the market will go up. So we have to wait and see for the next few weeks what's basically going to happen. So my next subject is INTC. So INTC Intel basically had a rally, and it was a big major rally, big major rally. The rally is up almost 26%, as you can see, guys. And yeah, it's been rallying. The first time for the overall market is around 72%, but for the last 2 or 3 days it was around 26%. So I'm very bullish on Intel. It's a big competition with AMD about the chips, and as you can see is that the RSI is overbought. It's around 70, and but we could see some higher levels. Maybe it could touch the, let me see, the 200, yeah, the 200 SMA. That's around 45. So, and then I think it could take a breather around those spots. So we'll see what INTC is doing. So INTC is basically a big competitor if it comes to semiconductors, talking about AMD, NVIDIA. So, but we can't count out Intel. Intel is a very good player when it comes to making those chips, but there's some few differences. So it's basically around the clock, how much speed those Intel computers got. And what you can see is that the Intel core of Intel is around a turbo frequency of 4.3 gigahertz, and the AMD is around 4. So that means the ANC is doing it better than the Intel is doing it better than AMD. But that's for the very low segment. And the mid segment around 5, you can see that Intel is still doing great, but AMD has a much greater power, as you can see. So we can't count Intel out. But so on the 7th, the highest segment, almost the highest segment, that's around 7. You see that the turbo frequency is around 5, and for AMD it's around 4.7. So we can't count Intel out, guys. There are big players around those chips. So it's very important to do your due diligence about those microchips. So, but we can't count Intel out. Intel's a very good player. So they go hand in hand when it comes to the competition. The one is good in computing power, and the other one has better chips. So AMD has better chips, and it's more powerful. But Intel it has more confidence. It's stable. So they go hand in hand. But for the price of Intel, and as you can see, I put it on the monthly chart, they still got a lot of upwards momentum to go, because last in 2020 they shares were around $60 per share. So we still got some $20 to go. But it's really depending what the market's gonna do. So there's also a subject that I want to share with you guys. And we got earnings next week. It's not gonna be a very long video this time, but we got earnings next week. We got some big players. We got Zoom, NVIDIA, HP. We got HP. Man, I didn't know that HP was gonna have earnings next week. HP also have earnings. So what you have seen is that HP has also beaten the S&P 500 in the last 10 years. Aaple is number 1, HP is number 2, and AXP. AXP is like American Express. So these two players they basically have outperformed the S&P 500. So you got to be very thoughtful what stocks do you buy, because we don't want to put our money in stocks that are not going up. So these three are basically beating the S&P 500 in the last 10 years. So be mindful in where you put your money, because we don't want to lose money by trying to gain in money. We don't want to lose what we have. So yeah, so those are the players for next week, 20th of November. We got Nvidia, HP, we got Jack, Autodesk. I'm not familiar with those companies, but Nvidia is the biggest one. So this is the overall sheet. We got Zoom on Monday after hours, after close. We got on Tuesday, we got Nvidia after close, Lois before open, Best Buy, Jack in the Box after close, and on Wednesday, John Deere, Thursday, Fudu, and Friday, HTHT. I'm not familiar with those companies. So the biggest one is Nvidia, Zoom second, Best Buy. So be ahead of your game, guys. Don't try to trade around earnings. Only try to trade when you know what you're doing, because it's a lot of volatility, as you can see. So be prepared. So for the next week, 20th of November, Monday, what do we got? We got on Wednesday, we got initial job claims. You know, the overall market want more people to lose their job. So when more people are losing their job, that's going to be positive for the market. It's very rare to say, but that's basically what the markets want. So Wednesday, the 2nd of November, going to be an important day. So let's see what we got for you guys. The dollar, as I told you guys, the dollar is coming down. It's basically peaked back in September 2022 at 114, and we now at 103. We basically are going down. Let's put it on a weekly. As you can see, it topped back in October 2022, then it went back up again. So I do think we could reach around 89. So be prepared, guys. Be prepared. So what is oil doing? Oil is doing $76 per barrel, and maybe we could even go lower, back around $60 per barrel. So be prepared, guys. Keep your eyes on the money, stay focused, and be prepared, man. In the next few months, we're gonna see what the Federal Reserve is gonna do. So I'm gonna read this tweet for you guys. So after last week, expect the CPI numbers. The market now anticipated 99% likelihood of a pause of the upcoming FOMC meeting in December. I'll be watching today's retail sales data to see whether, but please remember this: historically periods of pausing in the interest rates likely have consistently proven to be very favorable of the stock market. So what we have seen is that the overall stock market basically had a rally because the CPI numbers were good. So we could see a lot of momentum, and if you see that in this chart, it could go all the way to 5,000. So be prepared, guys. So yeah, the Federal Reserve could start cutting rates all the way in March 2024. So be prepared for you guys, because it's going to be a hectic time. But for now, we're still bullish on long term, and we're keeping our eyes on the money. I hope you like this video. It's a very short one, and see you till the next day. Have a great weekend. Bye bye. Peace.